Hilchos Tefillin. Aloha, we are in the middle of Sif Lamed Vav. Is the second shir of Sif Lamed Vav. So, Aaron Cohen, we said he is the one that brings down. He's the eight pashas of the moichin of the film. He's the moichin. He is the materializing process of the moichin to bring it down to us. Moshe Rabbeinu is an aspect of the blind beggar that ever even started living, that is totally old and never even started living. In other words, he's like beyond that film even. Kiviyach. This is P'chinas Moshe. Moshe is, he says that even at the end of his days, he already given the entire Torah to Am Yisrael. He said, Kodesh Baruch Hu, you started showing us your greatness. In other words, I didn't do anything. You just started now showing me your greatness. You know, it's like totally. Ki Moshe P'chinas Man. Moshe is the aspect of man. What is the meaning of man? Why is it called man? We didn't know. They didn't know what it was.
Like man means what is it? Man means what is it?
Right. Actually, man means what?
What? Okay.
What is it that a man, that was a mortal man, that is born from a woman, should be zecher to this madrega that Moshe Rabbeinu was a. V'zeh, Osios Moshe, the name of Moshe Rabbeinu is Shin Ma. The letter Shin and the word Ma. Shin, we see it in a few places. Tlat Avhan. These are the three patriarchs. Close the door. Shem Klal Yisrael. The three patriarchs, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, is the totality of the moichin, of the mind, which is Chochmah Bina Das. Shem Klal Yisrael, that's the totality of the mind. Klal Yisrael Tefillin, that's the totality of the tefillin. This is what the tefillin represent. Aval hakol nimshach mepchinas ma. But the mind itself, that which enters the knowable realm of one's mind, it all has its roots above it in the level in which the mind is totally undifferentiated and totally unfathomable. You cannot grasp it. It's not. From this inik kilo yadu mao, they didn't know what it was or what it is. Shezeh ika p'chinas Moshe. This is the main principle of Moshe. Shu p'chinas hazoken, who is that? This elder, this sage. She has zoken v'tinoik, that was old and a baby all in the same time. Shu sholosh hakol, who is the root of everything and above everything. Moshe Kosu Vaish Moshe Onav Me'od. And the name Moshe is very, very humble. Shu b'chinas kegamul alei imo, kegamul alei nafshi. I'm like a baby that is dependent on his mother's breast. Just like, somebody totally helpless, totally, without any accomplishments. That's what the Zohar says. The Zohar alludes to it in its own elegant way. Shelian Moshe, about the Zohar says about Moshe, Shelasavi Musaba, that by the elders, by the Ovas, Usaba he's a total Saba. He's a total. He's the epitome of old age. It's a Yenukas or Yenuka, that by the babies is a baby. Danish is Zoken Veyonik, that he is old and he is young. זה שאמר, בין 120 שנה אנוכי היום. זה היום מלו יום הראשון, 120 years old I am today. היום, today, מלו יום הראשון. In other words, today my days are finished, are complete. שאינו יכול ללך יותר, he cannot walk anymore, he cannot move anymore, he cannot come out, he cannot go in. משהו חז"ל מלמד שנסתמו ממנו בעינוס חוכמה. He says it shows that at that particular day, you know, the fountains of wisdom were closed off before Moshe Rabbeinu. כי הוא צריך לחיות חיים ארוכים ממנו, because he needs to live a long life. לילך בכל פעם יויסר ויויסר. He needs to advance all the time. He needs to improve all the time. He needs to change all the time. He needs to get closer to Kodesh Baruch Hu all the time. And when he can no longer walk, when he can no longer advance, he has to pass away. This as it is brought down in the Rebbe's Heilige Sichos. That's the reason why nobody knew his burial place. For they didn't know what he was. It is therefore found Moshe represents the supernal sage, who is the root of tefillin. This is the light that comes out of Moshe's face when he attained this bechina of Zokan Alien, of the supernal sage. That's the light of tefillin that he was.
What does that mean it came out of his face? What does that mean it came out of his face?
That's what the Medrash says. That Moshe Rabbeinu came to Kodesh Baruch Hu, and when he came out, the Kodesh Baruch Hu showed himself to Moshe. And Moshe came out, people were afraid to get close to him. He called enough power because there was light coming out of his face.
אור פניו.
The light bulb.
You also explained to us גם בספירות, איך שזה דרך העיניים and all that. Maybe that's got to do with it.
Maybe, I don't know. So this is that light is the light of the tefillin. That come in. זה מבחינת עיר התפילין, כמו שכתב רבינו ז"ל בתורה בקו הספר. Aaron מבחינת שמונה תיקון הדיקנו. Aaron, however, represents the interface, the transmission system. It condenses the light of Moshe and brings it down to our level. Aaron מבחינת שמונה תיקון הדיקנו, the 8th rectification of the beard. This is the 8th parshas of the tefillin. They themselves have the root from Moshe and this talks about Aaron and Miriam and Yocheved, who is the mother and sister of Moshe and Aaron, that he made houses for them, Bate Kehuna, Malchus. He made houses of Kehuna and houses of Malchus. Bate Kehuna, houses of Kehuna, and Pchinas Tefillin. We're talking here about how, the Tefillin button. Shem Kedushas Kehuna. This is what the Kohen does. When the Kohen is the interface between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and us. Chat Kedushas HaBechor Yitnu LaKohen. This is the Kedusha of the Bechor. What we're supposed to do. Bechor is the thing that symbolizes the renewal, the starting again, starting fresh. What are we supposed to do with the Bechor? We're supposed to give it to the Kohen. Because the Kohen and the Bechor is the same Bechina. Bate Malchus and the houses of Malchus, Malchus David Mashiach. Once you get the Tikkun HaMedamiyot, Zoichet to Tikkun HaEmunah, שזה כל זה בחינת תפילין. Now he explains a little bit of the nature of the lights that tefillin are bringing down. The Ikar Kedushas HaTefillin, the main Kedusha of the tefillin, B'chinas HaSogas HaLakus Tzadikim Amitim, Shem B'chinas Moshe, Mamshichim Anu Derech Kama V'Kama Tzimtzumim. The light of the film, what it is the incredible knowledge and attainment that the tzaddikim of godliness, the tzaddikim are masik, and they bring it down to us. They type it down to us with all kinds of constrictions, all kinds of constricting relay systems. You know, that they bring down the megawatts into 220 volts or 40 volts that we can that we can get. You know, that our instruments can sustain, can withstand. The main thing is that the principle is that they attain a saga, they get such a tremendous asaga that besides the content of the asaga that they get, they also get the incredible seichel how to constrict it and to step it down until it's usable by us, the low ones, which in itself take a seichel which is the highest of them all. Because sof ma'asev machshavat tchila, the end, how it's going to translate when it comes down to a level as low as ours, requires a seichel that understands, what it has to end up with by us in such a way that will bring us to the highest madrega. It's like, as we said before, you can see that operating systems of computers cannot fix themselves. They kill them fixing themselves, because for this you need a seichel which is outside, which is higher than the whole thing. So in other words, the seichel of knowing the how to fix the lowest of the low has to be in a madrega which is not within the operating system, but beyond that. That's exactly, this is the 8 parshas that fill are inside the operating system, so to speak. And the Asaf Moshe is beyond that, so it can fix it. So you can bring unification to the lowest of the low in the way that dovetails with the ultimate kavanah. So der Zocher to such a high asoga, עד שיכולים לצמצם ולהלביש האסוגה בכמה צמצומים לבושים. They have such a high madrega that they attain such a high madrega that they can construct for us learning aids, that will constrict and simplify the das until we can also attain it. It's very interesting that even what's his face, Hawking, Stevie Hawking.
That's the guy.
Yeah, that's the British soccer player. Just kidding. The physicist. He said in his book, he says that the ultimate chokhmah of physics, he said, is to explain all those complicated theories to a way that normal people, that the simple people can understand it. He says that's the highest madrega of chokhmah in physics. He said. He says that for him, that's the main advancement of physics. Is that he says that when the theory of relativity was first, according to there were 2 people in the world that could understand it, and he says today any student of physics in university can possibly understand it. It's physicists that I spoke to said that they still can't understand it. But nevertheless, apparently it's more. You can see it. The main sign of advancement of his gabus hachochma is when it can be explained in simpler terms, it can be broke down, because the seichel to explain it simply in a way that is faithful to the sophisticated level is the ultimate seichel that there is, always. That's what the Rebbe says, that you need a Rebbe of tremendous asagas that you'll be able to cloak and constrict and put in asagas elukus in such a seichel that people as low as me can get it. This is the bottom of the tefillah. It is impossible for us to receive the light of the parshas by themselves. The only way we can get it is when the force of the tefillah is reined in, and through batim and parshas. It contain it and bring it out to us. These are the constrictions and the holy tools shel olam hatikun, for the world of rectification. Before the olam hatikun, when the kelim shattered, when the vessels shattered, it was because the light came all at once. It was a tsunami of light, and what happens when it's a tsunami? Everything gets washed off, everything shatters. Olam hatikun, the world of rectification, is a metzias where the light doesn't just come up, but it comes like through a dam system, and when you put a dam, it's not a tsunami, it becomes a force that can be translated to electricity or whatever it is. So the tikkun is always comprised of the harnessing of the brute force, and mimele using it afterwards for constructive purposes. So olam hatikun is an olam that already has the constriction systems, the dams and the rivulets and the doors and the turbines, everything. The whole is the old chinas kelim of olam hatikun. To receive the light, in step by step, in digestible nuggets. Because what they can do, what a tzaddikim can do, is they can get into the chalapana, they can get into the vacant space, which is beyond the human mind. And to discover over there the Lakus of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is the epitome of beyond human perception, capability. Because we said already before that this is like, we gave the muscle of the levels of attainment, that we said everything is possible that is possible. Everything that there is has to be beforehand, has to be possible, right? Now, between the possible and that which is, has to go through stages. Just before, between, you have certain possibilities, a number of possibilities, 100 things that is possible, all right? But from that selection of the possible, just a few are probable. Let's say there are 100 possibles, 3 or 4 are probable. Probable is still possible, there's still nothing there, but it gets closer to isness, to reality. Then comes a situation from all those 3 or 4 probables becomes another one. It's still not there yet, there's still not reality there, but it's close to now, which is inevitable. One of them is inevitable. It's still not here, but it's inevitable already. It's already in the stage of manifestation where it's inevitable. And then it enters into the realm of time, and the entrance into time is when it's imminent. It's still not there, right?
מה זה imminent?
imminent זה כל רגע. יענו, זה מאחורי הדלת, זה אוטוטו. So imminent is the inevitable as it enters the now, right? Just before it enters now, being now, in order to be, quote unquote, what we consider to be real, it has to be a mamoshes here and now. Mamoshes can be spiritual also, but doesn't matter. But it has to be a reality in the here and now. Before it becomes a reality in the here and now, it's almost in the here and now. It's just imminent. Before that, it's still beyond time completely. It is probable, and beyond that, you know, it is possible. So the difference between inevitable, probable, and possible is that each time, you know, the possible is the bedrock from which, you know, the inevitable, you know, the probable is mined from. Everything which is probable has to first of all be possible, right? It's from among those that you pick up the probable. And everything which is inevitable has to pass through the probable, right? So it's each one is the selection from which the next stage is picked out of, okay? Now, where does the possible come from? What is that stage which is beyond the possible? From which all the possibilities are picked out. Because you see, the process is that all the time, those that are close to reality are being picked out, right? There has to be a whole field, you know, that has that promise of realness. Because possible means each one of them is possible. It may not be probable, but it's 100% possible. Because otherwise, it's not possible, right?
על הפנוי זה?
Beyond that, what else is left? What did we count in the possible? Remember, each one of the possibilities, you know, each one of those options has to be an option. It can be. It has to have the ability to be, right? But the only thing which remains beyond the possible is the impossible, right? So what gives? What suddenly something became possible out of the blue, out of nothing? The state beyond the possible is where the possible and the impossible are together. And here, we had a brick wall, right? Our minds cannot contain the possible and impossible together. And how does the possible come out of the impossible? You're talking Greek to me, man. Sounds like, you know, these kind of pseudo-intellectual thing that we used to do when we were like teenagers. We thought like really wise, so we said all these like really clever words, you know, like wow, we thought we were so wise. The French, by the way, I like that. They love that. They love, you know, like going on. Huh?
They fill in these intricate words.
No. It's you have to understand. Europeans have this machla more than anybody else. You know that they confuse sophistication with wisdom, and the Germans are like that very, very much. They're like morosely, you know, thinking. The French are like that. They're like, whoa, forget about it. They get so wrapped up in themselves. It's like, but the point is that this is bederech mashal the inavchal upon it. The tzaddikim have to be able to get into the impossible and extract the possible from there.
No, it stems from them, Kilo. That's the
Yeah, that's what he says.
How does he say it?
With words.
Yeah. Which ones?
I'll show you. כי הם יכולים להיכנס לתוך בחינס חלל הפנוי ולגולס אלוקוסוי שם, and we said חלל הפנוי is a place where you cannot be מגע אלוקוס, because if you find אלוקוס over there, it's not פנוי. if you get the possible from the impossible, it's not impossible.
That's nice.
Okay?
You're pretty smart, Alan Pinchas.
Huh?
You're pretty smart.
Me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because you just got the.
I was watching now.
Because you just got the impossible from.
You got the possible for the impossible.
Yeah, that's right.
That's impossible.
It's still impossible.
Well, you got it from the.
But everything is possible. Well, maybe, I don't know. They can discover the godliness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu over there. But as also there is a kelim kedoshim, and to do from that holy kelim. It says like this. This is a very important principle. Ki ikar is havos hakelim, because the main wisdom to construct the kelim, the roots of kelim, and the tikkun halapanu shutchilas hatzimtzum, is through the rectification that emanates the chala from the chalapanu, because the chalapanu in itself is a tool. Without chalapanu, the world couldn't have been. Yeah, that's the beginning of the tzimtzum. Without tzimtzum, that's the main dam that's holding, the tsunami of Ein Sof. That's the first. So Mimele, in the very reality of Chalapanui, within lies the secrets of creating Canaan.
He says it's the next.
כשהוא שורש כל הכלים והמסוכם, the tzimtzum is the root of all the kelim, the kol hamasochem, and all the screens, all the filters, that were created from the materializing, or the process of materialization of the light as it gets further from its source, from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Kim lo haya chol hapanu, if the chol hapanu would not have existed, lo haya shum yisabus v'yisrachka. There wouldn't be any concept of the light getting away, kiviyachol, from HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Itabut is going away.
Itabut means congealment. Itabut is thickness. It becomes materializes.
Okay.
It materializes.
Right.
This is what this Arizal explained. Nimtza shikas avos hakelim. So you see that the main creation of the concept of kelim b'chlal and the construction of the actual kelim, nimshach mibchinas chalapanu. It comes from the number one tzimtzum, the number one dam that stops the tsunami of Elokus, which is chalapanu. But through the sin of Adam Arishon, then, the Chalapanu Mimele had to, in order for the world to be created, in order for choice to be possible, there has to be a root, right? Because Baruch Hu had to create a root for the bad to exist, because otherwise, what are you choosing from? The Chalapanu has that root that can eventually become bad in it. That's called the Rav Chalapanu. The Rav Chalapanu is the fact that it conceals the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Just don't do it again. Okay. Yon. I saw him yawn. I saw. Don't open me once. I was concealing his yawn with like Kavarinas. That's a good way of doing it. He says, no, I was just marveling at the depth of what she's saying. I wasn't yawning.
It was from Adam Arishon. It wasn't.
Yeah, Adam Arishon, yeah. So, in order to enable choice, what has to be done in Chalapanu is to conceal the Mitzvah HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A state of concealment, of the ultimate concealment, is apikosis, right? It's heresy. It's denial. Denial of Mitzvah Hashem. And that is the root of the bad which exists within the Chalapanu in potential. When people go there, so he says, Chet Adam Arishon awakened the Ra in the Chalapanu, which is the heresies, And what did it grab on? It grabbed into the thing that had to do with Chalapana, with the Kalim, with the vessels. That their main Keli in the world is the skin. That's the ultimate Keli of everything. Everything is differentiated. What is it, Tzimtzum? Tzimtzum is something that it means that reality number one ends here, and reality number to give place for reality number two. What is the barrier between reality number one is a bechina of skin, a bechina of tzimtzum, a bechina of definition, right? The definition of something is its skin, kiviyachol.
Or it stops.
Yeah, this is where it stops. That's the outer bechina. A building has a skin. Well, the skin is made out of stone, but that's the skin of the building. That's the thing that stops the building here, and from then on starts the garden in a different building. So the thing that separates, that allows for independent existence of anything, is that last layer, which euphemistically, symbolically, we call it the skin. But Tachlis Bateva is all mamash. It's skin mamash, because what's the thing that enables you to exist as a human being and to operate in the world? The fact that you have a skin. Shemirach, when a person has no skin, he dies, because he cannot sustain himself as independent being, viable independent being. So this is so we made us the ultimate, or rather the most elemental vessel of them all is the skin. Since the root of all vessels, all kalim, is chalapana, once the poison from chalapana was released with the chet of Adam Rishon, what did it grab on? The skin. Because the skin is the tzimtzum, the skin is the keli. Shikar Pchinas O, the main essence of them is the skin. Shutachlas the kelim. That's the end of the kelim. That's where the kelim end. Chitzoin is the chitzonius. This is the outside layer of the outside layers. This is where the chitzonian. This is that layer that defends us from, quote unquote, the outsiders. The klipot. In other words, from regular skin, it gives life. It became the skin of the snake. In other words, the skin itself is poisonous. This is where the klippas grab hold of us. That's the reason why, when you come to be misaken yourself from defilement, to drive away impurities, to drive away the filth, to purify and to work over the skin in holiness. That's why the entire avodah is always the lowest rung, the most basic principle. Don't be a big mekubal. Stop cheating your grocer and stealing stuff from him, or give back your loans, or whatever. So it is there. Treat your wife properly. Until you're such a tzaddik, people. It says that the Rebbe says that Yishma b'zino inu v'ishtoik. That when the ikir tshuva is that when you hear your bizayon, your shame, you keep quiet because you realize that's your rectification. So people can come to shul and just like, okay, when someone's gonna, put me down, I'm going, I won't say a word because it's for me and it's my tikkun. And then you go home, boy says, why did you take out the garbage? From her, no, but anybody else, but not. Be a mensch with her. All the tikkunim start from the most elementary. This is where Yiddishkeit is, which is p'chinas skin. Start where you are. You don't start where you're going to be or where you want to be. That's the rectification of the madame. That's, how do you call it? MCS?
MCS.
MCS?
Madame Cleaning Services.
Yes, MCS. Tikkun Chalapana.
Cleaning services.
Yeah. MCS.
Madame Cleaning Services.
That's right. Infomercial brought to you.
That's right. This shir is brought to you from, by the way, this shir is the refuahs.
Aaron Ben Chana.
Aaron Ben Chana, shel Hafezat Hashem, refuah shleimo, rechus yom lishonim, toch nachas, v'archovo, gashmis, v'ruchnis, Zecher to have nachas from all the children and grandchildren. And Hashem, b'toch klal Yisrael, Hashem is zocheh to see Sheikh Tzidkeinu b'kol b'yameinu mamash b'zat Hashem.
Amen.
This is B'chinas Tikkun HaMadama, Tikkun Chal HaPanoi. That's the rectification of the vacant space. Shezoichen HaTzadikim HaGedolim Anal. That this, the great tzadikim, are zoiche to it. The second, they are zoiche to the tzadikim go into Chal HaPanoi, effecting some rectifications. Ad shosim mimeno daiko edavka b'Chal HaPanoi dekosat shash kelim lekabel ha'or ba'adrogo b'memina. From the Chal HaPanoi, which is like the no man's land. That's the zone of radiation, poisonous radiation of heresy. Darker from there, they take that power of denial, which is basically the power to contain the kedusha, and they could start kalim.
They flip it, and then
Oh, they use it. It's like kaviyachol.
That's right.
When they take when the atomic force, when it just unleashes, it can kill hundreds of thousands of people. But when it's contained, it can be used. A couple of kilograms can drive a ship for 3 years. So, in other words, from Chal HaPanoi is a denial, and Mimele a container of Elokus. It can block Elokus. It's an unbelievable. It can actually block Elokus.
The constriction?
Mimele, the Chal HaPanoi. The Chal HaPanoi has within it.
That's why I can make a tool. That's why I can make.
Yeah. So Mimele, from this you can make tools. That will channel the Elokus and bring it down. Because the process is always, it always works. The transmission when it takes the raw power of the car. Okay, in every level of the transmission, it brings down there's stress. The force of the engine, presses against it holds it back. So some of the power it gives forth, by stepping it down. But some of the force it absorbs itself, right? Because otherwise it can't be done. That's what
Like a watch. Yeah.
What? Yeah, like a watch, like anything. You see, the biggest problem with computers, with computers, is that the heat of the electricity going through the circuits. Why? Because the circuits, they're constricting the Elokus. The more you constrict the Elokus, the more energy is it absorbs by itself. Right? Chal HaPanoi is this kind of antimatter. That's what the Zohar calls it, Botzin in the Kaldenusa, a lamp of darkness. It's antimatter. It can contain the ultimate matter, which is the Kodesh Baruch Hu. So that is the raw material from which all kalim are constructed. So Rishab says, "Achal simimeno daika b'chinas kelim kedoshim, lekabel ha'or ba'adrogo b'mamida." To receive the light, to step down the light and make it, into usable, into digestible nuggets. Shezeh b'chinas oyer behemot oyer. This ultimately consists of the skin of a kosher animal. Sheikir ksivus kol Torah, the writing of the entire Torah. Utfil, and also tfil, and mezuzahs, everything, what does it happen? Dafka on the skin of a behemoth. This is why the bottom shelo also has to be made out of leather. Because you have to receive the light through a whole myriad of tzimtzumim and kelim and transmission systems and stepping down systems and asim. And the tikkun Chal HaPanoi, they are being made through the purification of Chal HaPanoi. Shehu b'chinas tikkun HaMadama, shehu b'chinas. That's the purification of Madama, which is the essence of skin.